If you've been a subscriber to this channel, you know that in previous years, we have talked about injury-plagued seasons, and usually they've been difficult fights for the 49ers right up to the end. This year, strangely, is a little bit different. The injuries are serious and severe, and they just keep on coming, and yet the 49ers are 4-2, and we're going to talk about why they are actually in pretty good shape moving forward. It's a little bit strange and bizarre, but they have a key advantage this year that they have not had in previous seasons. And if you're a member of the Patreon, you know that in the offseason, we talked about it. It's the schedule. But first, we're going to take a look at some of the film because I know that's what you guys have come here to see. Here on Josh's Football Breakdowns, we do let the film tell us what we're seeing, but for the purposes of this video, in terms of why I like the 49ers and their position moving forward, I think it makes sense. We don't necessarily have to look at every single play from this game, but I'll talk about a lot of the things that I like and maybe some things I would do differently. But on this first play, we see Mac Jones winding up to throw. It's another anticipation throw from Mac Jones. He's going to be going for Kendrick Bourne heading to the sideline. But we see Kinder Vildor here sitting up and getting ready to break on this route. Now, this is a gamble by the defense, right? If Mac Jones were to throw in, say, a pump fake here, Christian McCaffrey could be open for a big gain, maybe even a touchdown. Unfortunately for the 49ers, Bourne and Mac Jones are not on the same page. Bourne breaks back to the inside, and Vildor is able to make the 49ers pay. This is a really good defense for the Bucs, and if you make a mistake against them like this, they can make you pay. Bourne and Mac Jones have been filling in valiantly for the 49ers, and even though they're not necessarily Ricky Pearsall and Brock Purdy, they have shown that they could be starters in the NFL. They're starting for the 49ers right now. Nevertheless, Kendrick Bourne was not part of the 49ers offseason program. Remember, he was with the Patriots in the 2025 offseason, and Mac Jones did not practice this week. Extraordinary that a player who didn't practice would be starting on game day, but that is the situation the 49ers have found themselves in. So these kinds of miscommunications are going to happen. It's no secret then that the 49ers are going to lean on some of their best players who remain healthy, like Christian McCaffrey. Now, defenses know this too. Tampa is a good defense, so they have been selling out to stop the run. And here we see Tampa Bay committing, yes, 10 defenders to stopping Christian McCaffrey here, but this is a run fake, and I would classify this as a mistake by the defense. And this is the point of me talking about all of this, is San Francisco is also a really good team. This was a close game right up to the end. The depleted 49ers very easily could have knocked off the possibly best in the NFC, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you make a mistake against San Francisco and this offense, they have the ability to make you pay as well. It's a 41-yard connection between Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne, and the defense is wondering where they went wrong. What else makes the 49ers a good team? Well, Tim Kawakami has been pointing out quite correctly that they now have a kicking advantage over several teams in the NFL, including Tampa Bay. Pinheiro made multiple 50-yard field goals in this game, while Chase McLaughlin would miss a field goal towards the end that kept the 49ers in it. It's something worth pointing out. Whatever the 49ers' problems are offensively and defensively, personnel-wise, they now have a reliable kicking game that has range, can make clutch kicks, and is extremely reliable. Furthermore, the coaches have been doing a great job for San Francisco this year. Kyle Shanahan is having probably one of his best seasons as a coach, in my opinion. Here we see another great play design and play call. The 49ers line up with one tight end and one running back, and just look how tight everybody is when they're lined up. This looks like a running play. So Tampa commits 5 defenders up at the line of scrimmage. Now, they do drop back once they realize this is a pass, and the middle linebacker gets some great depth here, but it's still not going to be enough to take away this route to Kendrick Bourne, who is essentially one-on-one with the safety. It's a great play called by Kyle, but also great execution by the players. These players are being coached up as well. 56 yards on the play. The 49ers would cap off the drive by punching it in with Christian McCaffrey, and just look how patient he is with this run, following his blockers into the end zone as opposed to last week against the Rams. It's the first rushing touchdown of the season for Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers. And here's Pinheiro knocking in another long-distance field goal. This was a titanic struggle between these two teams, and what set it apart was an MVP play. San Francisco appears to have Baker Mayfield dead to rights, but he is strong and physical, and he is able to get out of the grasp, get out of the pocket, and scramble. Now, I stopped it here. We can see where Baker is, and we can see where the first down is. It is 3rd down and forever. He still has over 10 yards to go to get the first down. So if you're Upton Stout here, how should you play this? How should you handle this defensively? Well, what you want to do is stay to the outside, force Baker Mayfield back to the inside towards the defense so that the cavalry can rally and make the tackle. But Upton Stout is just a rookie, and Baker Mayfield, you can see his foot extended here. He puts a move on Upton Stout. Stout bites on the move, allowing Baker Mayfield to get to the edge. Even so, Renardo Green has contacted him 3.5 yards before the first down, before that line to gain, and he's just got to get him on the ground here. Easy for me to say, sitting in my chair. But Mayfield stretches and comes up with the first down, and you can see the 49ers sideline just can't believe it. The defense should have played better, but Baker Mayfield also made an MVP-type play. Both can be true at the same time. And then 2 plays later, he would follow it up with something else equally spectacular. The 49ers have left 2 safeties back deep, but here there is a major miscommunication of some kind as Jair Brown sits up on the play, allowing Tez Johnson to blow right by him. And take a look at Baker Mayfield. He looks to his right, throws in a quick pump fake. I wonder if he was trying to hold Marquise Siegel for just a split second longer. Snaps back to the left, airs it out. Great catch, great play, touchdown Tampa Bay. And those 2 plays, that sequence of events we just looked at, I feel was the turning point in the game. When we were watching this, my wife had a great line. She said, if it was anybody other than Baker Mayfield, I'd be mad. Sometimes you just have to tip your cap to the opponent. The Bucs are up 27-19, still a 1-score game, but they have a chance to ice it in the 4th here with a field goal, and the kick is no good. And here's that kicking advantage we talked about earlier. The 49ers would continue to fight to the very end. And it's another masterful play call by Kyle Shanahan, the tight end screen to Jake Tonjes. And what he's got to do here is just follow his blockers, but he's mesmerized by the open field in front of him. Unfortunately, there's nobody to block Tyke Smith here, and Smith just makes a great open field tackle, bringing Tonjes down short of the line to gain. He's a yard short, and I remember at the time watching that going, ooh, that felt like an opportunity there that was missed. The 49ers are going to have to pick up that yard. Well, an interesting sequence of events would follow. Quarterback sneak, but Jones is stuffed. No gain on the play, so now it's 4th down and 1. And just watch Dominic Pooney here. False start, the flags would come out, and that is an absolute killer because now it becomes 4th down and 6. And the 49ers make the decision to still go for it. Now, I thought that was interesting. Let's take a look at the game situation here. There's 5 minutes and 56 seconds left. The 49ers still have 2 timeouts. So I don't know if I understand the urgency to go for it here. They're in field goal range. It would be about a 50-yard field goal. That's not a gimme in the NFL, but Pinheiro has been really good, even on long kicks. If they don't get the field goal, it would be about the same as not getting it on 4th down. So I don't necessarily see the downside of trying the kick here. Either way, unless you score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, you're going to have to get the ball back anyway. I would rather get the ball back down 5 rather than getting the ball back down 8 in a last-ditch, no timeouts, needing a touchdown and 2-point conversion scenario. So, to me, I think you kick the field goal here, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Maybe there's something I'm not considering. I read every comment, so what would you do here? Did Kyle make the right call by going for it on 4th and 6, or should he have taken the points or attempted to take the points by attempting about a 50-yard field goal from this spot? Either way, Tampa is all over this. The pass is intercepted, and the defender is eventually brought down. He goes down, so they lose significant yardage there. That's actually a mistake. He should have knocked it down. They would have had better field position. But turn your attention to the bottom of the screen. Trent Williams, who has lost his cool in the NFL before, throws his opponent to the ground. The flag would come out for unnecessary roughness, so Tampa would end up getting good field position, and they would kick a field goal that really would seal the game this time. So I guess in that sense, it does justify Kyle Shanahan's decision to go for it. And that would end the game, handing the victory to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The loss drops San Francisco to 4-2, but it didn't really feel like a devastating loss in terms of, the actual game and the way it played out. We all know that Tampa Bay is a tremendously talented team, probably the best team in the NFC, if we're being honest. Baker Mayfield is a legitimate MVP candidate, and he really showed off some of his stuff today. Of course, the big loss in this game for the 49ers is Fred Warner, losing him for the season. But oddly, the 49ers seem to be in pretty good shape moving forward. How can that be? Well, I alluded to it at the top of the video. They have a really favorable schedule this year. Not just favorable, but one of the easiest schedules I can remember the 49ers having in many, many years. Let's take a quick look at this. We have seen the 49ers do some amazing things this season while being shorthanded. It's a testament to maybe some depth that we didn't necessarily know they had, and of course, to tremendous coaching by Kyle Shanahan and the assistant coaches. So let's take a look at the schedule and see how this shapes up and why the 49ers aren't necessarily in such bad shape moving forward. Well, next week they play the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, Atlanta just had a big victory against the Bills on Monday Night Football, but I think that plays into San Francisco's favor. We saw it a little bit last week with Jacksonville, right? They got a big emotional win against the Kansas City Chiefs, then had a little bit of a letdown at home against the Seattle Seahawks. Well, this is going to be even more of a factor for the Atlanta Falcons because they are coming to us after playing on Monday Night Football. They are the road team on a short week. And if you follow this channel, you know I never like the road team on a short week. I think San Francisco wins this one pretty comfortably. Then the 49ers travel to the Houston Texans. Houston, a bit of an up and down year. They're not necessarily as terrible as we thought they might have been at the beginning of the year, but they are not great either. And guess what? The Texans, although they're playing at home, are also on a short week. That is a winnable game for the 49ers. Then San Francisco goes to the New York Giants. They're playing better with Jackson Dart, but still, in my opinion, a very flawed team under Brian Daboll. And then the big one, at home against the LA Rams for the rematch. That is going to be a huge contest. And I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't think we had a chance in the first meeting with the LA Rams. So shame on me for doubting the 49ers. But shame on me if I do it twice, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't fool me twice. After that, the 49ers go to the Arizona Cardinals. Back-to-back road games for Arizona, and then they're at home against San Francisco. But is it really a home game with the way that the Niners fans have been traveling this year? Again, Arizona, it's a division game, so it will be close, but they are a team in total disarray right now. I think San Francisco has a shot to win that one too. And then they're home against the Carolina Panthers. These are all winnable games, back-to-back for the 49ers. They look great. And oh, by the way, that is back-to-back road games for the Panthers. Usually the second of those back-to-back road games is a loss in the NFL. Again, the schedule just lines up really favorable for San Francisco this year. Then they are at the Cleveland Browns, another winnable game. Cleveland has one of the best defenses in the NFL, but a terrible offense. That is going to be a really interesting game against a depleted San Francisco defense, but one that should have a lot of their offensive firepower back by then. And then the 49ers get a bye, and then coming off the bye, they play the Tennessee Titans, who, oh, by the way, just fired their head coach. And that is the second game of back-to-back road games for the Titans as well. So this next set of games for the 49ers really lines up favorably for San Francisco. Yeah, that defense is totally depleted now with Nick Bosa and Fred Warner out for the year. The 49ers are going to have to score a lot of points on offense, but guess what? George Kittle is coming back. Ricky Pearsall, if not back this week, is going to be back soon. At some point, Brock Purdy will be coming back. And eventually, down the stretch, Brandon Ayuk will be coming back, and they're looking at that game against the Rams to be the return for Brandon Ayuk. Now, that's not official yet, right? That's still several weeks out, but that is what the 49ers are eyeballing. So, yeah, this was a tough loss, but not really like a devastating loss. It doesn't hurt the soul. Losing Fred Warner hurts the soul. But in terms of this game, the 49ers are 4-2. And remember, they're 4-2 because they got all those wins in the division to start the year, 2 of them on the road. So San Francisco has really set themselves up well to weather the storm. I think the 49ers are still going to make the playoffs this year, despite everything that's happened. Now, once they get there, are they going to be a division winner? Are they going to be a wild card team? You know, can you advance in the playoffs without a defense? You know, those are some tough questions that are going to be asked, you know, as they get closer and closer to that point. But you know what? That's a good problem to have. Making the playoffs. Oh no, how terrible, right? So yeah, to me, I'm feeling weirdly optimistic after this game. It's strange, but I think the 49ers are in great shape. All right, more and more of you keep joining the Patreon page. Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much that really means to me and how much I appreciate that. Your support is what will allow this channel to continue moving forward. I truly appreciate it. You humble me and you honor me. Thank you so much. All right, next week it is going to be the Atlanta Falcons with a tough road trip out west to face the depleted San Francisco 49ers. What an interesting game that is going to be. I can't wait to see it. And I don't know what's going to happen in that game, but you know we are going to break down that film, and I will see you guys then.